Late in last year's high-stakes campaign to legalize abortion in Ohio, remember there was that whole ballot initiative to put it into the Ohio Constitution, and their Attorney General David Yost came out with he said there could be some public misunderstanding about this ballot measure. Now, this is before the election, before the vote. There could be some misunderstanding. People might not really know what they're voting for, and we need to clarify these things. And so I'm going to do an analysis of this ballot measure and tell people what it is. In fact, his exact words were, I owe it to the people to give them accurate information so they can make informed decisions. The taxpayers paid for the assessment, of course. And the assessment was clear. He said, if passed, the issue one language would create a new standard that goes farther than Casey's undue burden test or Roe's strict scrutiny test, and will make it harder for Ohio to maintain the kind of laws that were already upheld as valid prior to Dobbs. In other words, he's saying, basically, if you guys vote for this thing, it's going to just mean that there are no restrictions on abortion. It'll be the Wild West. It'll be crazy. His exact words. In other words, the amendment would give greater protection to abortion to be free from regulation than at any time in Ohio history. Those were his words, end quote. So then the law passed. The voters spoke, right? The Republicans had tried everything, including David Yost. They had tried, saying, oh, it's going to require 60%. It's going to quack. None of it worked. People showed up and they voted and said, we think that women should have the right to choose to have an abortion. So now Yost comes out and says, and this is, where it gets really weird. He said, quote, this amendment was meant to restore the pre-Dobbs legal regime, a regime that allowed and upheld Ohio's waiting period, in-person abortion, and informed consent provisions. In other words, the old law that used to say, if you want to get an abortion, you have to show up, and then you have to come back in 24 hours or 3 days. I don't know which it is in Ohio. And you have to, you just have to jump through all these hoops. We're going to make it difficult to get an abortion. That's how it was in Ohio. Now he's saying we can bring back those provisions. They're still in the law. We can enforce those. I, as the chief law enforcement officer for the state, can enforce those because this ballot measure that everybody voted for isn't what I said it was before it was voted on. I lied to you, David Yost is saying, the Attorney General of the state of Ohio. I just lied to you, he's saying. It's incredible. And this is official. I mean, he's saying this is my official position. These people are pathetic. They're just, it's like they know no shame, much like Donald Trump.